Wow, so a lot going on in the month of October, apparently. Just got this random shadow drop. I was hanging out last night, chilling, and just got a notification on my phone through the Nintendo Today application that Animal Crossing Nintendo Switch 2 Edition and free update version 3.0 is coming to Animal Crossing New Horizons. Uh, kind of crazy. And honestly, as soon as I saw it, my heart kind of sank. So I've had this theory the entire time that the Switch 2 has been doing its stuff. As I've said before, I think that the way that they're going to handle their old games is one of three ways. Way number one is obviously just ignore it, just like let it die. Way number two is they're going to give it a free update, fix performance issues, let it run better, which is like what we got with Link's Awakening. And number three is your Nintendo Switch 2 Enhanced Editions, which is what we've got with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. And I always thought that this was a way to keep older games current. So you take an old game like Breath of the Wild, you kind of give a little bit of spit shine, make it run better, make it look better, all that kind of stuff. And then that way you can keep a physical version of it on the shelf throughout the generation of the Switch 2 without having to abandon it or like have the original Switch version also on the shelf. It's a way to basically update an old game so that you can keep selling it for this generation. And this does not bode well, at least in my opinion, for an Animal Crossing sequel. I was really hoping that we were just going to get a free update for this, or it was just going to be a little tiny improvement or whatever, like just kind of a little free patch, so that we will get a full Animal Crossing game, if not next year, the year after next. With the amount of stuff that's in this DLC pack that is for free, they're clearly wanting a lot of people to come back to Animal Crossing New Horizons, which to me says we are not going to have a new game for you for quite some time. Now, a lot of people I think would say, well, look, Animal Crossing has sold extremely well. It did insanely well, right? It is their number 2 franchise after Mario Kart. So they wouldn't skip this generation. They would not repackage a game from last generation, add some free DLC, and expect that to hold you over for an entire generation of a console. That's literally what they did with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That's the exact same thing. We had no original Mario Kart on the original Nintendo Switch. You just had Mario Kart 8, which I played to death on the Wii U. So there was an entire generation with no Mario Kart. There's definitely a possibility there's going to be an entire generation of no Animal Crossing. That is on the table now. There is a good chance we are not getting a brand new Animal Crossing exclusive to the Switch 2. They might make us wait till Switch 3 or whatever the next console is going to be after the Switch 2. That is on the table. Because if I had to bet, the same team that makes Animal Crossing New Horizons makes Splatoon as well. It's a very talented group of people, and Nintendo and those teams have to decide where they're going to put their focus. In recent years, it's been all on Splatoon. We got Splatoon 1 in like 2015 on the Wii U. We got Splatoon 2 in 2017. We got Splatoon 3 in, what was that, 2022? 2023? Something around that time period? They've been pumping those Splatoon games out hard, and they sell very well, and they're huge out here in Japan. If you were to say, Logan, what do you think Nintendo is more focused on getting to the Switch 2? A brand new Splatoon game that has now a whole new level of multiplayer functionality. Think about this. They just added mic support. They just added Game Chat. Game Chat has its own official button now on Nintendo Switch 2 controllers. They are so focused on the online community. You're telling me that they're going to prioritize Animal Crossing over Splatoon 4? There's no way. They are working very hard right now to put out the newest Splatoon title. Like, I know that Raiders is probably coming out next year as well. That's going to be a nice little spin-off. But I guarantee you, they are guns a-blazing. They want that new Splatoon game out because they want you to use your camera. They want you to use voice chat. They want everybody to be on Switch 2. Like, they want to really sell that online experience. And Animal Crossing just won't deliver that. So as soon as I saw this, I was like, yep, Splatoon 4 basically confirmed. Like, not to be super negative, but I really think that this kind of points to the... And I guarantee you, they probably went to the development team and said, what do you have more ideas for? Do you have more ideas for another Animal Crossing title? Or do you have more ideas for a Splatoon sequel? And I guarantee you, they're like, well, you just gave us a bunch of tools. You just increased the online capability of the Switch 2. We've got more online ideas that we can now implement with the next Splatoon title. So, unfortunately, it looks like New Horizons will probably be our only Animal Crossing experience on the Switch 2, which is sad. Now, with that being said, looking at these updates, these are all great. I am very excited for this update, and I love the price. I think Nintendo might be listening for the first time ever. They are not charging us an arm and a leg for this update. Up to this point, I believe every single upgrade has been $20 or $10. I think mostly $20. Like, I know Kirby was $20. I know that both Zeldas were $20, and I think Metroid is the only one that's $10. And now this one is actually $5, which is great. And initially I was like, okay, well, I'm a little concerned about the file size. What are the file sizes? Because Nintendo file sizes are kind of getting out of control. But they came out and they said, hey, it's like, you know, it was like 450 megabytes or something like that. Like, it's not that big. It's basically just a performance patch. That's all it is. I don't know how big the 3.0 update is going to be. That's not available on the eShop yet that I can tell. But yeah, honestly, you know, I am excited for this. I actually have gone back and played Animal Crossing New Horizons on my Switch 2. I've been enjoying it. I've been playing it a lot more than I realized, actually. I kind of miss that cozy Nintendo experience. You know, I've been playing Mario Kart and I've been playing other things, but you know, I kind of keep going back to Animal Crossing, even though there's no patch. And so to now see that there is a patch and to see that there is going to be more DLC coming is exciting. And I hope that Nintendo doesn't just make this the final update. If this is going to be the primary Animal Crossing for the console, every 2 years, give us another major update. Like, you know, in 2027, give us like a 4.0 and then a 5.0 and then maybe even a 6.0. You know, keep going with this. Keep making this game bigger and bigger and bringing everybody back to it. You know, there's no reason to not do that. But all of the Switch 2 updates are obvious. It's going to be like game chat. 12 players can now play instead of 8. You're going to be able to use the mic. I was excited to see that the microphone was back, or the megaphone was back. So the megaphone was an old item that you could use where, like, villagers in town may give you a task like, hey, I haven't seen Bones lately, and he left his whatever at my house. Do you mind giving it to him? And then they give it to you, and now you got to go run around the island and find Bones. Well, with the megaphone, you could have just said, hey, Bones, and then a little text bubble will appear on the screen and be like, I'm over here, and then you just walk over to the text bubble, and there he is. That was from past entries, and I'm very glad that's back because it's funny. The other day I was playing it, and I was like, where's the megaphone? Is there no megaphone in New Horizons? And I was like, oh, I guess there's not. That sucks. And then, of course, here now is the megaphone, which is great. But that's only because the Switch 2 has a microphone. I didn't even think about that, but there is no microphone in the original Switch. But obviously, there's like a bunch of game chat stuff. You can use the actual camera now and all that stuff. It's going to be 4K. Everything drops January 15th, which I think is great because we've got nothing slated for January right now. Something's coming out February. I can't remember off the top of my head what it is. But Now we're basically now officially on track to do the every single month releases, which I think is great. But as far as the free update for Switch 1 and Switch 2 players for Animal Crossing, that's also released same day, January 15th. I'm super, super looking forward to this. The big thing that they started to announce was the hotel. On the dock or on the pier, there's now going to be like an island tropical hotel with like, Captain and his family, and there's going to be exclusive merchandise. And it's I kind of was like raising an eyebrow here because I was like, wait a minute. This feels kind of like that Archipelago DLC we got 4 years ago, where it's like you just go to this like hotel resort place, design rooms for people, and then make money and then buy stuff. I was like, that's basically what you did in the last DLC, right? You're just kind of designing more rooms and shit. So I was like, okay, well, that's fine. I don't mind that. Some of the stuff is really cute, but to be honest with you, that was, I don't know. It was okay. That was not really one of the main things that I was excited about. I was glad though that at that hotel you can use like amiibo cards. That's really great. I love the fact that you can invite people over and design rooms for them, which is great because I've got a ton of amiibo cards just laying around and I'm not doing anything with them anymore. So, also the storage is expanded. That was a big one. I love the fact that it's gone from 5,000 to 9,000 storage. So now you can hold a lot more stuff. Rossetti is finally back, which I think he's basically just a patch to get people to come back. When I first came back to my island, there was a bunch of weeds everywhere, and I was like, I don't know about this. But the fact that Rossetti's got a new like reset service, and when you see him, I guess, you can just say, hey, clear all the weeds over there, or hey, just get rid of that whole project I was working on. It really just makes it a lot easier for you to come back and go, you know what, I'm just going to erase all that and start over fresh. It kind of gives you that excuse to be like, hey, you don't have to delete your whole town, but, you can kind of do a little something here. The big thing that I'm most excited for, and I'm honestly shocked that they did this, was the new, like, Dream World thing that they're going to do. Basically, in New Leaf, you had, like, the Dream Suite kind of thing where you go to this, like, anteater's house, and you could sleep, and you would just go to a random player's, like, town, and you could see what they're doing, and it's kind of like a pseudo online experience. You can go, oh, look what they're doing, that's creative, I might do that in my town, or oh, that's a cool item, I wonder where they got that. Instead of that, now you get 3 additional islands that you could go dream away to, and you're basically completely unrestricted. Obviously in the original island that you have, you've got to wait time, and you've got to pay money, and you've got to really invest in this ecosystem, and it takes like forever to like do things. Like if you want to build a bridge, it's like, dude, forget it. It's going to take forever to pay it off. You got to like get this whole Publix Works thing, blah, 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 blah. Now it's like, no, you can like just instantly do everything you want to do in this dream world, and you can just completely customize it. You can have friends come over and like construct all together, which is cool. But the best thing is that you have 3 islands, so you can make them small, medium, large, and it's basically just have fun. It's basically the free play in Minecraft. You can just do whatever your heart desires, which I think is really, really cool. And also, any furniture you've unlocked is also available for you to just use as you see fit, which is absolutely fantastic. Another thing that was shocking to see is that the actual like consoles are back for the first time since the GameCube days. In the GameCube days, you could get like an NES or, something like that, and then you could actually, if you had that little piece of furniture, you could play NES titles in your house. And now I guess as long as you have a Switch Online subscription, which is unfortunate, you can go to the hotel, get those consoles, and then put them in your house and play them in Animal Crossing, which is kind of cool, but it's also unfortunate that you have to have Switch Online to access that stuff, because now I'm thinking, so are you telling me that... Because here's the problem with Switch Online. Here's my issue with Switch Online. I whenever I'm going to go play the title, for some reason, and I don't know why it does this, sometimes it just randomly has to check if I can play the game, right? Like I'm like, oh, I want to play a GameCube game, or oh, I want to play a Game Boy Advance game. I'll go on the app, and as soon as I open, it's like checking to make sure that you can play this, and it's like, why? I buy my subscription by the year, right? Why are you not just checking once a year? Like, why is it just randomly checking? Because that makes me concerned, because it's like, well, if I'm on a plane, or if I'm like out in a park someplace, or if I'm somewhere else trying to play this and there's no internet, would you stop me from doing that? And now I'm like, well, wait a minute. If I'm playing Animal Crossing New Horizons, is this also now going to have to check in for a game that I've already paid for to see if I can play? It just starts to get kind of confusing, and I don't know. That part is kind of a bummer. I wish that they would just say, hey, all of the NES games are in Animal Crossing. I mean, who really is subscribing to Nintendo Switch Online for NES? Who even plays NES anymore? I don't know. I've never played NES. Like, I only play, like, Super Nintendo and up. So, I don't know. It's very bizarre to me. But something also that I think is really, really great is they're finally bringing back more collaborations with not just other companies, but other Nintendo products. Lego has majorly partnered with Animal Crossing to do some kind of like furniture and clothing line, which is crazy. They're finally bringing in the Legend of Zelda stuff and Splatoon stuff, which is great. I think that those are tied to Amiibo. I can't really tell. Hopefully they're not. Hopefully you can just get them naturally through a shop as well, because I don't want to dig out all of my Amiibo to unlock all that stuff. But I definitely think those are really, really cool. By the way, if you're hearing other sounds, it's kind of raining outside right now, so I apologize for that. But overall, the update looks really, really great. I'm super excited for it. I'm pretty optimistic about the future of New Horizons, but I am not optimistic about the future of a sequel to that title, unfortunately. I really do hope that we get another one, but at the same time, I don't think it's going to be likely. I think that they're going to focus more on Splatoon, and then they're just going to keep patching New Horizons and say, hey, that's got to be good enough for you for this generation. Maybe when the Switch 3 comes out, we'll give you your brand new Animal Crossing, because we all know they love to make us wait for Animal Crossing. That's like their favorite thing to do. But I don't know. I just wanted to jump on here real quick and talk about that, because I'm a huge Animal Crossing fan, and I absolutely love the price of this. I love what they're doing. It's just unfortunate for those of us that were waiting for a proper sequel. But that'll about do it for me for today. Like I said, sorry about the rain. Hopefully it's not been too distracting. I've been trying to talk over it, but you never know. But anyway, everybody be safe out there. Enjoy yourself. And as always, take care of each other.